Okay, we have started the mesh that opened up the mechanical program meshing, and we're going to select some edges. We're going to name those edges, and so we'll use the edge filter, and these three edges, 1, 2, 3, holding the control key down and hitting the N for named selections will be called inlet, and that's a pressure inlet. We're going to sort of arbitrarily call the edges on the side an outlet, although we don't really know if the flow is coming in or out. And these three edges with the control key and hitting the N key, outlet top, just to differentiate it. There's three more lines, which is the lines on the axis, and we'll hit N and call that axis. So that's going to help Fluent name those boundary conditions, and it'll pick up automatically the fact that we have two kinds of material here, a pipe which is solid and air which we will tell is fluid. And the last thing we need to do is mesh. And we know that this is 6 millimeters across here, so if we wanted 3 elements across, we'd have to go down to a 2 millimeter element size. And if we quickly did that mesh, we'd get a certain number of nodes and elements. But what we really want is we want to get nodes and elements closer. If we zoom in here, we want much smaller elements around the here, and then out at this boundary we can have these large elements. So to do that, we're going to insert some mesh controls, and that will be insert sizing, and we want to pick edges such as these 3 edges here, these 4 edges I should say, and if we pick those 4 edges and tell it we want an element size, but we want to bias it with a bias factor of 10, for example, we can get much smaller elements up here. Let's clear the mesh so we can see things more clearly. And that edge sizing, we're going to flip it around because we don't really know at the beginning which end the elements, the bias goes to, and we can reverse bias one of those 4 so that the elements pile up there. Similarly, we want the edges, if we zoom out a little, the edges along here, these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we want edge sizing, and we want that to be biased. And let's flip that to the other direction. And then there's just one of the 3 need reversing, this one. So we'll have nice small elements up to the boundary. We might even reduce the element size a little more to 1. There we go. Nice small elements near the edge. Let's do the same to the upside. We can just duplicate this and pick 4 new edges, and that's these 4 here. There we go. Apply. And let's see, we've got them going correctly on 3 of the 4. F7 fits the view, so there's one edge we need to reverse, and now I think they're all going in the correct direction. Let's finish up with the elements along, see, we've got the ones coming in, the bottom, the axis side, center of the pipe, the outside of the pipe, and so the pipe itself, and then the trailing edge. Let's do the trailing edge next. Let's duplicate this, but pick these 4 edges here, and maybe with 2. We have to reverse just 1. And now let's see what the mesh looks like. The other thing, we didn't say how many elements across the width. This might be one more edge sizing we can do. So we've got these, and the ones down the center. So final sizing, and that'll be this. We pick them one at a time. Click Control, click, click, and click. And those we might also want to bias, and bias to the outside. That means this one. And let's put some smaller elements there. There we go. Maybe not that small, 0.5. How's that? So now if we mesh, let's see what kind of the mesh we get. And one more mesh control will be to engage face meshing, which will force everything to have rectangular elements. So insert face meshing, and we'll just select all and clear the mesh and remesh. Oh, excellent. So I think we're just missing some biasing on the center, and then we'll be in good shape. This is almost what we want, and if we just go and add biasing to the center, it will square up these. So insert sizing, and on these edges, these 4 edges, we'll bias to the ends by 10. Generate mesh. Squared it up, and we have a pretty nice element size. So that is our mesh for this problem. I'm going to stop the video. We're going to close meshing, and we're going to update that, and in the next video we'll start Fluent by double clicking on Setup.